Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is October the 7th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Tuesday to ya. Hopefully you had a good Tuesday. Hopefully it treated you well. For me, overall, my day was good. I won't say great, solid day, average. But I will say I started off on a bit of the wrong foot. Woke up a few minutes later than I liked with some stomach issues. My stomach was a little bit hurt. So that was already setting me back. But the overarching issue for my day, or at least my morning, was I had some technical issues. I had some technical difficulties. And I kind of had spotted this issue, I want to say last weekend, where my phone was trying to do some update. And I'm like, okay, updates come, they go. You hit the button, they do the reset, you're good, you're fine. But I kept getting like repeated updates, like back to back to back to back to back. And like the first time it happened over the weekend, it was like a couple and then it seemingly stopped, or maybe I paused it and didn't think about it, whatever. So I was like, all right, that's odd, but like maybe it was just a big package, done and dusted. And then today they just kept happening. And I mean, obviously I'm a typical millennial. I use my phone for everything. So I'm sitting here in my room in the morning, like very confused. Like, is my phone fucking up? Is there a problem? Because surely there wouldn't be this many updates. It's maybe the phone not taking the same update. Because it every time I looked at it, it seemed like the same thing. And so I was getting really confused. I was upset. I'm like, am I gonna have to get a new phone? I can't afford this. I'm already freaking out, right? And I look it up. I do a little Googling, troubleshooting, look a little bit harder, and I see, okay, it's not the exact same update every time. And then I think once I got to like, I don't know, the fourth or fifth update, I actually noticed changes on my phone. So apparently this was just some big update, and there's a bunch of security updates that maybe came with it. Maybe this all hit very late. I don't know. But essentially it was almost like a full year's of worth of updates, like from, I don't know, January up until now. So I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I spent my morning worrying about that until it was all done and over with. But overall, got to work maybe a little bit late, just a few minutes. But after that, everything was fine. Work wasn't too crazy. It was overall an average day. Things were good. Post work, we go to the gym. Gym is busy. Didn't really love that. Had to substitute a couple of just light equipment stuff in terms of like my circuit, post the Smith machine, post the free weights. Actually, I'm saying Smith machine, like I got to hit that today. No, I had to sub that out too, with the free weights. I essentially just did free weights, 2 sets of those, and then did a little bit of equipment, kind of had to do a couple of audibles, but then, post that, did some cardio, and that was my gym session. Overall, fine, not my favorite gym day, of course, but overall, it's pretty good for a Tuesday, all things considered. So that was my day. After that, we come home, do a little bit of stretching, and do a little research for the episode, and we're all ready to go, ready to yap. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup, and let's get into some news. I did want to start off with a correction. The other day, in another episode, I had said 3-year anniversary, or coming up on the 3rd year of the October 7th attacks. It has only been 2. Definitely worth mentioning. I really don't have anything major in terms of updates to bring today. Obviously it was just some stuff making the rounds in terms of like just recaps, how we got here, da 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 da. But not like, once again, present day stuff, nothing really to report. But I just wanted to mention that. Let's start at I guess what is it? Capitol Hill, Washington D.C. From CNN, so I got to scroll way up to the top, my bad. From CNN, takeaways from Attorney General Pam Bondi's contentious Senate hearing. Attorney General Pam Bondi's appearance before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday showed the sharp divide between the left and the right on how justice in the United States is being carried out. Democrats and Republicans repeatedly talked past one another throughout the hearing, pointing fingers across the aisle over who was to blame for weaponizing the Justice Department. Democrats accused Bondi of allowing President Donald Trump to direct prosecutions of his political enemies, including last month's indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. Republicans, blamed the Biden Justice Department of using special counsel Jack Smith to prosecute Trump and spy on Republicans, pointing to the release Monday of documents showing Smith's investigation obtained call records through a court order of 8 Senate Republicans. So, I mean, we could go through the meat of this, the details. I'm sure the freaks would love that. I mean, not to say I have any dear listeners who are, freaky to hear, the ins and outs of what's going on, in Senate hearings like this. But essentially, to me, this was just a bunch of mudslinging. I mean, I agree with what the Democrats were saying, but at the end of the day, any point that they talked about, like there was a Tom Homan thing about him literally taking $50,000 in a cash bribe. And essentially, it just got deflected because Pam Bondi was like, well, Miss Senator, weren't you at a protest where Antifa were there? Like, you have no right to say, make these kind of comparisons, blah, 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 like shit like that. Like, it was just a bunch of nah, so are you, or nah, let's talk about you. Like, it was very much that. It doesn't seem like there's going to be anything that sticks. It's not like the Democrats can really do anything. Once again, they're just kind of calling shit out. And then for Bondi, she just goes, okay, nah. Like, you're lying. You're making it up. Donald Trump's not like that. You don't even know him. So, I mean, we really, in my opinion, didn't get much out of this. I feel like if you're, in the Trump camp, you just got red meat to eat. You know what I mean? They just said, oh, well, what about the fucking Biden administration? What about this? What about that? And you go, yeah, she's right. And I mean, obviously, if you agree with the Democrats, you're like, I'm so glad she brought that up. Oh, she got her. She cooked her. But once again, Pam Bondi just gets to go back and do her job. You know what I mean? She's still going to fucking do the same kind of prosecutions, make the same kind of movements and motions. She's still going to fucking, be on her witch hunt for Donald. So, I mean, the beat's going to keep going on here. So, I mean, I could talk about this, read the whole thing for like 5 minutes, or you could just kind of say, hey, that's the summary. And if you really want to know, by all means, I mean, probably, maybe not CNN, too biased. I don't know. But there's plenty of articles. I just picked that one. You know me. Anyway. Now, this one I did want to get into the details. I did want to read about just because it's this to me is more of a real story. It's not a nothing burger on Capitol Hill. I don't know. I'm going to try. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to try. I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say, talk my shit when and where I want to. But I figured, hey, we'll go ahead and read and stick to the article as much as we can. And I guess leave it at that for the most part, outside of my 2 cents here and there. But anyway, from the Associated Press. Barry Weiss is the new editor-in-chief of CBS News after Paramount buys her website. We got so many girl bosses this month. This really is the month of the girl boss, and we love to see that. We love that. Paramount said Monday that it has brought the news and commentary website, The Free Press, and installed its founder, Barry Weiss, as the editor-in-chief of CBS News, saying it believes the country longs for news that is balanced and fact-based. It's a bold step for the television network of Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather, and 60 Minutes, long viewed by many conservatives as the personification of a liberal media establishment. The network is placing someone in a leadership role who has developed a reputation for resisting orthodoxy and fighting woke culture. And I feel like she started this campaign when she realized, like, oh, I'm not getting anywhere being like an average liberal journalist. So I think I'm I don't know, shift over to the right ever so slightly, ever so subtly until I'm making a lot of fucking money. And I mean, hey, I feel like this is where it gets to work for her. I don't think they have the number in this article. I mean, maybe we'll read past it and I'll be like, oh, oops. But I believe she is, Free Press, I believe, was bought for $150 million. And she looks to be making anywhere from $25 to $30 million. So, I can talk all my fucking shit in the poorhouse, but at the end of the day, money does fucking talk. I've said that once, I'll say it 1,000 times. But yeah, let's continue. I'm confident her entrepreneurial drive and editorial vision will invigorate CBS News, said David Ellison, who took over this summer as the corporate leader, seeing the network when his company Skydance purchased Paramount. This move is part of Paramount's bigger vision to modernize content and the way it connects directly and passionately to audiences around the world. Of note, David Ellison is the son of Larry Ellison, who is, I believe, the owner of Oracle, who is also involved in the big TikTok deal, acquiring that precious, juicy, wet algorithm and making it oh so American. So we really are just getting all the rings and keys of power or whatever and really saying, oh, yes. We are going to have this and we're going to do the right thing. We're going to be so ethical. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so American. And most importantly, not biased, especially not at the CBS. Of course not. Never. No purchase price was announced for the Free Press, which has grown to reach 1.5 million subscribers since Weiss started it in 2021, after leaving the New York Times, or the New York Crimes, some might say, as an opinion editor. When she left the Times, she wrote a letter of resignation that spoke of a culture of intolerance at the newspaper. And she said she was bullied by her colleagues who disagreed with her. So essentially they're like, yeah, dude, you're writing these opinions and you're fucking wrong. You're editing these opinions and you're fucking wrong, dude. Like, and I would agree with her naysayers. I am one of her haters. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I don't know, man. I would love to get into the weeds about it, but what's the point? We're talking to a winner. We're talking about a winner right now. I don't know, man. These are the motherfuckers who are on the top of the sender. They get to decide the flow of the conversation. It's at least it seems. Weiss will report directly to Ellison and partner with the current CBS News president, Tom Sabrowski, who reports to Paramount executive George Cheeks. Goated name. Mr. Cheeks. I'm sorry. Editor-in-chief is a new role at CBS News. Ellison said that Weiss will shape editorial priorities, champion core values across platforms, and lead innovation in how the organization reports and delivers news. It's like, once again, like, CBS did not need this kind of thing. Like, it did not need a person like fucking Barry Weiss. But this is now thrust upon it because essentially CBS is in a fucking lurch and they realize, well, this is how our bread gets buttered. And we have to make this deal with fucking, more or less the Trump administration. Like, we have to kind of make these kind of moves to appeal and cater to this Trump administration, or at least people who fuck with it, because that is the now. That is what we think is going to be the future. In a letter to CBS News employees on Monday, Weiss said that watching CBS was part of a family tradition growing up in Pittsburgh. Her goal in the next few weeks is to get to know the staff, she said. Oh, that's so nice. I want to hear from you about what's working, what isn't, and your thoughts on how we can make CBS News the most trusted news organization in America and the world, Weiss wrote. I'll approach it the way any reporters would, with an open mind, a fresh notebook, and urgent deadline. Banger fucking line. I don't believe it, though. I just don't. Like, and once again, if you disagree with me, by all means, just go through her fucking shit. I mean, you want to pay for the fucking Substack or whatever. I mean, she's got enough works out there that you can kind of glean her perspective and what she thinks about life and world issues and politics and blah, 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 and yada. But once again, I have tomatoes. That's all I can say. At least that's all I want to say. Let's see. Some at CBS News have been concerned about what they see as signs that the news division is moving in a direction more friendly to President Donald Trump. Paramount's merger with Skydance was approved by the administration shortly after Paramount settled the president's lawsuit against 60 Minutes. Ellison hired Kenneth Weinstein, former head of conservative think tank and Trump contributor, as an I'm fucking this up. Ombudsman. I'm mea culpa. Ombudsman to examine complaints about CBS News. 60 Minutes, which is 2 weeks into its new season, has been seeking an interview with Trump. It's like, hey man, you know how to get it. Start pandering. CBS isn't the only news organization to face pressure from the president. He also settled a lawsuit against ABC News, has sued the New York Times and Wall Street Journal, and is fighting a battle with the Associated Press over access. That's still ongoing. I haven't really heard many updates on that. But also, I believe with CBS, that was the edited thing with Kamala Harris. And I do love it. There's an article headline here. CBS forbids editing of Face of the Nation interviews. Yeah, no more editing. We're done with that. you won't catch that happening. I don't know. It's very like we've been through that whole rigmarole. I don't want to go down that again. But let's see. Let's keep yapping. Broadcast news organizations are generally fading in influence with the growth of online alternatives and have aging audiences. CBS is generally third in popularity behind ABC and NBC, but 60 Minutes and CBS News Sunday Morning have devoted fan bases. Rather, who stepped down as anchor and managing editor of the CBS News or CBS Evening News in 2005, told the Associated Press that he did not know Weiss and hopes she gets to know the people at CBS News before making any big changes. No one has to send a memo to everyone down the line at CBS News about what is going on with journalism and this presidency, rather said. It is obvious that there is tremendous pressure to bend the knee to the Trump administration. The fear is that this appointment is part of that overall play. So essentially, he really wanted to address it without addressing it. You know what I mean? And I completely get it. He's trying to have some candor here. But this does feel grim. It does feel upsetting. You know what I mean? Like, it would be fine to me if you did have someone who is actually truly like, not to say that she's not by the fucking definition a journalist, right, or whatever, but like clearly this is a compromised person. This is a person who's saying, I know how to get my fucking bag here. I know who to talk to, who to appeal to, who to pan to, what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? So once again, this is not a person who I'd want to see in an edit, like in an EIC position at CBS. I just, but here we are. Let's see here. Weiss has worked in opinion journalism and has little background in broadcast journalism. So there's already that too, where we're talking yet again about someone who is inexperienced for the job. This is no different than a fucking Hegseth thing. But once again, I can't really make that comparison because Trump isn't actually like giving her the job. CBS is doing it because they know this is what is wanted. She's described herself politically as a centrist and wrote a column for the New York Post in 2021, headline 10 Ways to Fight Back Against Woke Culture. Yeah, a centrist. Like, okay. All right. Sure. Writing for the liberal website, The Unpopulist, Matt Johnson said one reason for the Free Press's popularity is that it offers intellectual reassurances to legions of anti-Trump readers, sophisticated conservatives who may be uneasy about Trumpism, yet want to believe that wokeness and other left-wing excesses are the primary threats to Western civilization. And I do think that, once again, that is a very, like, appealing thing. I think you can get, like, you can kind of, like, overlook or, like, say, oh, that's just her personal take on, like, this thing. Like, that's how she feels about Israel here and da-da-da. But overall, I might agree with what she has to say. Because, once again, you are a person who wants to live in the middle, maybe. And so you're like, yeah, I really don't like that leftist stuff. It is kind of icky and scary. It seems a little bit, no thanks. But obviously, I don't want to, like, do a January 6th. I'm not MAGA or anything. So you have someone like Barry Weiss to kind of sit down with you and say, yeah, it's okay to think like that. It's all good. Let's talk. Let's wrap it up. And then you still wind up on the right. You still wind up not doing anything productive. You still wind up in the same stupid ass fucking discourses with the same shitty takes as far as I'm concerned. But you feel good about it because you think like, she's just like me for real. And I mean, maybe that's a part of the appeal at the end of the day. But once again, I think it's hard to even call her a centrist. But I mean, hey. Debatable. And Weiss told CBS News employees that she stood for the same core journalistic values that have defined the profession from the beginning, including reporting on the world as it actually is and being fair, fearless, and factual. In separate staff memos, Ellison and Weiss outlined similar philosophies about a mainstream America being ill-served by a destructive form of partisanship. When we reduce every issue to us versus them, or my way versus the wrong way, we close ourselves off from listening, learning, and ultimately growing, both as individuals and as a society, Ellison wrote. I don't pretend to have a solution to this challenge, but I do believe we have a responsibility to do our part, which is grift. I added that last part. Weiss will remain as the boss of the Free Press, which she indicated would continue on the same course but expand more quickly with Paramount's money. Indeed, she said in a letter to subscribers that the Free Press will help reshape CBS News. Why would that be the case? CBS does not need that. But okay, all right. I guess that's a W for journalism? Question mark. She said mainstream Americans, which she defined as being politically mixed and pragmatic, are being ill-served by an illiberalism? I don't like saying that. From the fringes of society. On the one hand, an American-loathing far left, she wrote. On the other, a history-erasing far right. These extremes do not represent the majority of the country, but they have increasing power in our politics, our culture, and our media ecosystem. That's more or less it. So yeah, man, that's a bit of I feel like this is the first time I've talked about Barry Weiss. I try to stay away from too many individuals, especially if we're not talking about politics. It kind of just feels like you're instantly in the weeds and I have to do so much like backstory and there's so much I don't fucking know about these people. But moments like this, they definitely kind of charge me to at least talk about it. And hey, it also gives me a chance to learn more about them as I go. So that's always good. It's always good to know about the freaks of the week. But yeah, as you can tell, I'm not a Barry Weiss enjoyer. I'm not a Barry Weiss fan. But it is what it is. Like I said, these are the people on top. These are the people who have, quote unquote, their fingers on the pulse, or at least get a chance to, tell you what it is. I don't know, tell you how to be. But yeah, no, I'm booing. Boo. I think this is a bad look for CBS. It's a shame that this is what's chosen. And I know it's fucked. I'd literally rather see them go down with the ship than like just lay down like this. But once again, that doesn't make money. That doesn't keep you alive. And I do get that that's the MO at the end of the day. It's not about, any of that moralistic stuff you thought it was. Which is a shame. That being said, will I still use CBS? Yes, I'm about to use that in the next couple of articles. One or two is going to, so it is what it is. We're still going to keep using this shit. All media has a slant, no matter what. I know that. I'm not stupid. I know that I give out a slant when I talk about the news that I talk about, I cover. It is an inevitable thing. It is an inevitable truth when it comes to this shit. But, I don't claim to be anything other than a fucking yapper, right? So that's all I got to say, I guess, on that. But yeah, okay, the first two stories were serious. I already went way too long on this Barry Weiss shit, but I really, like I said, just wanted to say my shit. But the next are food related, a little bit lighter. Sort of lighter. But, and I hate this because I'm using Dextero. I hate using Dextero. It's not my favorite. I would say, New York Post is worse, but this is not one of my favorite news sites to use. But anyway, I digress. $35,000 worth of salsa dips stolen in unusual truck heist. So you've got my attention. I love salsa. I love a heist. So, all right, let's get in here. Over $35,000 worth of salsa and dips were stolen in a brazen truck heist in Ontario, Canada, and police are still no closer to recovering it at all. It is incredibly annoying when you go to a store or a restaurant and they don't have your favorite sauce in stock. There's no telling how many times it's happened at a McDonald's or Chick-fil-A too. See, I don't even read that. That's someone, cut that out. Sometimes it's completely out of anyone's hands. You'll have to try again another time. However, anyone waiting for salsa and dip deliveries in Essex County, Ontario, Canada, will have suffered a major delay than normal. That was their sentence. In late September, 2 tractor trailers were stolen from a side road parking lot, with one of the trailers containing over $35,000 worth of salsa and sauce. Raw sauce. According to local police, a transport truck was later returned to the location, damaged and without the trailer, which means that the pricey cargo was also still missing. The robbery, which occurred on September 27th, was then followed by another later in the day. Like the salsa heist, that truck was recovered 2 days later. However, the stolen trailer and the cargo remaining outside, or the cargo remain outstanding, and police are offering rewards for anyone with information. That includes a $2,000 reward. So yeah, I mean, that's, I don't want to say it's wild, but I feel like that's like, oh my gosh, that's someone's sauce. How did they get rid of it? How did they move all of that? I mean, I guess they just took the trailer and left and then offloaded it somewhere. I don't know, man. Are we going to be seeing a flood in the zone in the the Canada region? You know, it's like, oh, there's a flood of sauce. It's everywhere. The streets are hot. But yeah, I mean, I think this is more or less just being treated as breakage by, the companies. I don't think they're really going to go out of their way to really pursue it. We may never know the fate of the sauce. It might be lost to all. But I mean, hey, if you're getting any black market salsa or sauce, hit me up. DM me. I want to know. I will keep you secret. I will tell your story, not your name. But yeah, no, I don't know. I found this interesting. So I was like, yeah, let's fucking talk about it. Anyway, our last story, like I said, is from CBS News. Like I said, we will be using it again. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and then we will talk about some bad pasta salad, which is so sad to say because pasta salad is yummy. Okay. Whew. Kroger recalls deli pasta salads due to possible listeria contamination. 2 types of pasta salad bowls sold at Kroger and other stores across the U.S. have been recalled due to possible listeria contamination, the Food and Drug Administration announced Saturday. The Kroger company voluntarily recalled basil pesto bowtie pasta salad. Or I read that backwards as fuck. Basil pesto bowtie salad and smoked mozzarella penne salad. Sheesh, I know somebody smoked right now. Following another FDA recall announcement last week involving products with pasta ingredients sold at Albertsons. I feel like I missed that. Like I saw this recall and I was like too bogged down and I was really confused that maybe I had already covered this because I feel like I covered pasta last month at some point. So I was like, let me not be redundant. And then I saw this and I was like, okay, let's just cover this. The pasta manufactured in Roseville, California by Nate's Fine Foods is possibly contaminated with Listeria mitococcagines, an organism that can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections. Kroger's recalled products were sold across 1,860 Kroger family stores, including Baker's, City Market, Dillon's, Fred Meyer, Fry's, Gerb's, King Soopers, excuse me, moi, Payless, Rouse, and Smith's in the following states. I'm not going through all the states. I will say Ohio is mentioned. O-H-I-O. The basil pesto bowtie salad were sold from August 29th through August 29th through October 2nd. And the smoked mozzarella penne salad were sold from August 29th through August 2nd, the FDA said. Sunday's recall announcement came after the Kroger family of stores was notified about the Nate's Fine Foods possible Listeria mitococcagines contamination on September 26th, the FDA said. The company was notified again about the pasta's recall that included additional production dates on October 1st. So yeah, I mean, you just run through the same thing on this. If you think you got it, give them a call. try to contact your local Kroger or, family store where you got it. If you got the receipt, hopefully you can get a refund. Very worst case, don't try it. Let's just not get listeria this week, y'all. Let's just chug it. Just give it a little toss, but into the dumpster, the trash can, Just be safe. Let's get into this fall, this winter safe, not with any bad bugs in our system. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? I don't know. Anyway, that's the episode. That's all I have. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. Become a newsie today. You do get shout outs at the top of the month. And the money is nice. It's helpful. It's a nice little tip-a-rooney if you'd like to do that, but it's okay if you don't, obviously, no worries. Free ways to contact me, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any other socials. Subscribe to the YouTube, follow on TikTok, follow on Spotify, follow on, I'm spacing out. Spotify, I said Spotify. Apple Podcasts, yes. Yeah, there you go. Those are free ways to help out, as well as leaving a like, leaving a cool, nice comment. That's just not just nice. It is good for your endorphins, I think, to do kind things and leave nice comments. I think it's good for you. I think a scientist said that. Hey, don't quote me. I'm not an expert, but you can leave a nice comment. Sharing is caring. It can be fun. I heard that in a commercial once. And then let's see. All the stars are appreciated on the Spotify, on the Apple Podcast. But once again, you don't got to do any of that. You don't got to do none of that nonsense. I mean, the liking and the subscribing, those are definitely free things that help the algo, help the effort for sure. But it's okay. I appreciate you just vibing with me as I fumble along through the news. I do my best, y'all. I do really try. I know I flop. I know I fail. But I get up and I come back at it the next day. That's what we do. That's how we do it. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.